Hey, what's up guys, I'm Praetorian and welcome back to Stellaris First Contact. So the first thing we're going to be doing in today's episode is getting those destroyers set up. So we're going to be using two different destroyer designs. The first is going to be the ship smashes. But before we get this set up, I did want to note that Paradox did completely change up the ship designs, the mechanics around ship combat, just completely rebalanced ships in general a little while back, and I have not really played the game since they did that, so I don't know what's all changed as far as the the mechanics and how you want to design your ships, because in the previous version basically you just used whatever the biggest ship is that you had available, and you didn't really have any reason to use other ship designs. So basically, as soon as you got the battleships, you just really needed battleships. That's it. Now you could add some other things in there. You could throw in some cruisers, maybe have corvettes for certain roles or whatever. But for the most part, you didn't need to have all the different ship designs. Destroyers were practically useless once you got the cruisers. But they did completely redesign all the ships and rebalance them to try and make it so that all the ship classes have a role and a purpose. And I haven't really played the game since then, so I don't know if our designs are best for the current mechanics. You guys let me know down in the comments below, those of you who have played Stellaris more since the rebalance happened. So do keep that in mind, that there might be a little bit of learning as we go here, since I am playing with the new rebalanced ships. So with the destroyers, these are our choices here. So the two different parts of the ship. The ship smashers are going to have the large guns, which of course we're just using the mass drivers, and the mediums. And so their role is going to be attacking, at least on the early game here, attacking and destroying other destroyer class ships, as well as the star bases, which is what we'll more likely be fighting, since as you guys can see, we often do have to fight star bases, and that's going to be their role. So they'll have those larger and medium-sized guns. And essentially the way this works is the larger guns, they do more damage, but they have difficulty attacking ships that have higher evasion. So essentially the smaller ships. So you need those smaller guns to attack the smaller ships, the larger guns to attack the larger ships. So we've got them set up with the combat computer for artillery, and so they'll stay back from long range and use their large mass drivers. That's going to increase their ship fire rate and their weapons range. Let's go ahead and get those shields placed on there. Now remember, I would traditionally use something like this, maybe something like that, but we are doing an armor heavy playthrough, so this will be our design for our destroyers, and I think they're good to go. So let's go and save that. Also, before I forget, somebody pointed out with the scrap sloops, while I did assign this for them to have the swarm computer, I must not have saved it. I know I put it on there, but yeah, just must have exited without actually saving it. So our other destroyer design is going to be the flea flicker. I imagine that orcs have lots of problems with fleas. They're not the cleanest bunch. And so these are named that because they're going to have the picket ship stern. So basically, these point defense and the flak batteries, these are for attacking really small things. So missiles, torpedoes, and strike craft. Point defense, if this is still the way it used to be back when I used to play Stellaris more often, point defense was better at shooting down missiles, while flak batteries were better with strike craft. Since we're more likely to see missiles, we're going to use the point defense. Now, they both can attack strike craft and missiles. It's just they're supposed to be better, slightly better at those two different targets. So we'll use the point defense here, and we're only going to have a few of these in each of our fleets, but essentially their main job is to shoot those missiles, and then they'll also have the gunship bow, which gives them a medium gun and two small ones. So they'll be attacking corvettes as well. Let's go and get our shields and armor on, and then with the combat computer, we're going to be using the picket one, and that increases ship fire rate and the tracking. So let's go ahead and save those. And then the other thing I did off camera, these are the defense platforms. Essentially we have one for each type of weapon system. So we have artillery, so these are just large weapons. I just want to show you guys your different options here for your defense platforms. And so these are both on the large weapons, and we are going to have them balanced with the shields and the armor. And then we have a hangar. Now we just have the scout wings, so obviously they're not very good, but eventually we'll get the better strike craft. So we've got the hangar one. We have a gunner one, which is, you know, the 2 mediums and then a bunch of small guns. And then we have the missile PDs. So these are missiles and then the point defense. So that we have a variety of options for defending our star bases. So we build these defense platforms on the star base. So next we need to take a look at our policies, because we've gotten some new ones available. So the first one here is the War Doctrine. So this unlocked because we finished up the Supremacy Traditions. And so we have 4 different options here. Defense in Depth increases your home territory fire rate. Now, since we're going to be mainly attacking rather than defending, this is not a very good bonus for us. Hit and Run basically just makes it easier for you to get out of combat, so probably not a good option for us either. Rapid Deployment is going to be the one that we're going to be using, so the one we're already set on. Increases sublight speed, so we move faster within the systems, and ship weapons ranges increased as well. The other option is No Retreat, and this one gives you a fantastic bonus to ship fire rate, so very good, but it does make it pretty difficult for your ships to disengage from combat. And I don't think that's fitting for our orcs. They're not exactly the most honorable bunch. They are not worried about retreating and looking bad. They will retreat if they are outnumbered. They'll retreat quite quickly. So I feel like rapid deployment is probably the best option here. Now, the other options that we have available, I don't think we need to actually change any of these, but I did want to show them. Since we've now met a pre-FTL civilization, we can now set our pre-FTL interference. Just kind of wanted to show what these are. We're going to stay on aggressive. That makes the most sense. That allows us to invade pre-FTL civilizations, which is probably how we're going to deal with the one we met. Then there's pre-FTL enlightenment, and we've got it prohibited currently. And while we could go with one of these options, I think it would irritate some of our factions if we did that. So next we need to deal with the stability issues, which you can see here, low stability, that are on our new planets, the ones we just conquered. Let's close these here, just to kind of make this a little bit cleaner. So our 2 new planets that we have, both have very low stability, because those slaves are very unhappy. And also, you can see that we're using up a lot of food and consumer goods. And the reason for that is likely due to habitability. So we've got orcs on Rialora, and their habitability is probably pretty low here. I think it's about 30% on the Alpine world. And then on Orcland, we've got some of those new pops that we have. We're going to call them Brienne. And so we have some of them, and their habitability on this tomb world is 0%, which is typical for most species. Remember, our species start with that extra bonus, the extra trait, the survivor trait. And so that's the reason why we're able to survive on these tomb worlds. But most species will not be able to. So they're going to have very low habitability. So when a pop's habitability is low, there's a variety of penalties. First of all their upkeep is going to be higher. So in the case of organics, they're going to require more food and more consumer goods. They're also going to have slower growth, which isn't a huge issue for us, but of course the higher upkeep is a problem. Then also they're going to produce less of whatever they're doing, so that's another problem. So basically we need to fix this, and we're going to fix it by resettling. And also we need to fix the amenities issue. So we've already got this constructing, so let's go ahead and get another city district built out next, because those clerks will produce amenities, also open up another building slot for us. So here on Brialora, which we are going to keep the name as is, but here on Brialora they have 36 pops, 33 of those are the Brienne, so we need to move some of those, and we will have to move the ones off of Orcland as well. We'll have to do that later though. Once we have that relic world established, that would be the best place for us to establish our slaves. And so we'll wait to move the ones off of Orcland until we get that colony set up. We can move some of these off of here, we're going to want to resettle them not to Orcland, where you can see that their habitability is going to be 0%. We'll have to move them to Black Mountain and Shiny's Cave, where they're still going to have really low habitability. It's 20%, so not great. But yeah, we're going to have to move some of these over there, just because it's far too many pops in that area, I think. So we're going to move some of these farmer pops. Not a ton, maybe just 3 for right now. These also have a cost. Because they're slaves, there's no unity cost. And also they have the nomadic trait, so they're cheaper when it comes to energy. So we're paying 37.5 for each one of these that we're moving. So we'll move 3 of those. And then we already have a couple orcs on here, but I think we need more. We need to look at how many jobs we have available. And then that's how we'll want to determine how many of these we're going to be moving. So let's move a couple miners off. So that looks pretty good. And then let's go ahead and take a look at how many specialist jobs we even need here. Well, what we can do is get rid of the research labs. I have 2 of these. I think we're going to get rid of one of them. So we'll have less specialist jobs here. Because remember, we're wanting to change up their slave status, which will result in them only be able to do the worker jobs. They won't be able to do the specialist jobs. And one advantage of moving them to chattel slavery is that they'll have less political strength, which means they'll have less effect on the pop approval rating. Essentially, we have to worry about these guys revolting on us with this high stability. And so I'm hoping that we can rely on our orcs a bit more for the approval rating. And so in order to do that, we need to move them to the chattel slavery. And so we need enough pops, orc pops, to work all these jobs. So currently we have 5 on this planet here, and we have 2, 3, so that's 5 right there, and then 7. So basically need 7 orcs here. Okay, that'll work. Take a look at our other planet, which I did rename to Stormy Mines, just based on the fact that when it's a mining planet, they seem to have a lot of storms here. So yeah, we'll call them Stormy Mines. And we should probably set up something else to build here after that. They're not having the amenity issues. And we did call them mines, so it makes sense for us to put the mining district on here. So we'll do that next. Alright, excellent. Because remember, we're going to need all the pops doing... You know what, we should get rid of this research lab here as well. We're probably not getting much research from them anyways because they're so unhappy with us. So let's go and get rid of all the research labs here. Just so we need less orcs here. Oh, they also have the artisans there, yep, because of the industrial district. So it makes sense to get rid of... Can you just get rid of one of them? Yeah, we'll just do one of them. I never destroy districts. So we'll get rid of one of those. So that way we'll only need a few of the orc pops here. And of course we do have some unemployed. That's okay. So we go ahead and start race settling here now. Just get a couple orc pops. And we will move them from Orcland. So let's do 4 orc pops over here. Of course we are causing further issues when it comes to habitability. And then we'll want to move some of these off of here to Shiny's Cave. Not a bunch. Just 2 for now. Yeah, it looks good. And then next we need to do the same thing here with Laura onto Shiny Caves. Let's get rid of a couple of these. And then bring an orc over. Alright, so that looks pretty good. Alright, so we moved them around. When we moved the orcs, it did require unity. And so now we're going to have all kinds of problems with the jobs and stuff. We'll get that taken care of eventually. It looks like Shiny Caves need to build something. Makes sense to go ahead and get another agriculture district since we're short on that. To see if there's any other issues. Nope, we're good to go. Okay, so let's go and let this play. I don't think there's anything else we need to take care of. And we have seen our first caravan. So these are the traveling caravans. You can buy stuff from them. I think it's because this is the first time we've seen them, so there's no options just yet, but they'll come back through and we can purchase some stuff to them. They can actually give you some unique stuff, like unique techs. You can sometimes buy like pops off of them.
The conquest of a new world.
Oh yes, we built our destroyers. but we did not add them to our fleet yet. So let's go ahead and do that now. So we're going to go ahead and add, I think, like 10 to this one here. Now, we could get rid of some of these corvettes. Probably should get rid of some of these corvettes, but we're just going to leave it as is for now. So we want maybe 3 of the flea flickers, and then 7 of our ship smashes. Alright, so that looks pretty good. So let's go ahead and reinforce the fleet. We probably won't be able to get all these built, but that's okay. And then also, we're going to set them up to go ahead and upgrade, since we did change that design. In fact, we should probably set these guys up to upgrade as well. Okay. So yeah, we're going to have some stability issues for some time, guys. I think we have like 3 years after getting control of a planet to try and get it taken care of. And we've met somebody. Some birds. Everybody is so religious in this galaxy that we have here. Alright, so they're way down here. Alright, so we'll be friendly with them for now, but I doubt we'll be friendly forever. But yeah, one thing I found with the slaving build is that you often had just so many issues with it. With stability and slave revolts. It can be difficult to play this way. It's fun for roleplay purposes. But I have found that it's a little bit easier. Oh, we're going to have to take a look at this. I have found that it's a little bit easier when you bring in other civilizations and try and, make use of them, not enslave them. You just have a little bit easier time with it. First of all, you can have their planets. You don't have to try and put your own pops on there who might not fit with the habitability, which is what we're doing. We're putting orcs over here, which is why we're seeing that cost in food and consumer goods. All right, so this is regarding the pre-FTL species over here, civilization. So they just moved from the machine age to the atomic age. Now, I have found that the pre-FTLs, when they come to the atomic age, they seem very likely to blow themselves up at this point. And then it becomes a tomb world. And, if they do that, then we'll have a new planet that we can colonize. I prefer that they don't. But yeah, I find that they do it very often. They're not supposed to. It's supposed to be pretty rare. But it seems like they do it all the time. Now, regarding the pre-FTL species, we do have this observation post above them. This allows us to do diplomacy. There's not really any options here, though. Or espionage, which we'd have to bring an envoy over here. And you can plant advanced knowledge. Of course, we can't do that because of our FTL policies. You can indoctrinate the society, which will shift their ethics towards yours. And you can infiltrate the government. And this is really the best way to annex them, because they'll actually be happy about it. So if we are willing to do it this way, and we're willing to put the time and investment into it, this would be the best way to annex them, because they'll have a happiness bonus. If we annex them the way that we're going to do it, by attacking them, I actually have our transport ship just sitting over here waiting for when we're ready to attack them, because we're just going to invade their planet and take them over. If we're doing it that way, they're actually going to get a modifier that's like a penalty for a while. They'll be unhappy with us. That's the way we're going to do it, guys, because that's what's fitting for our orcs. Now, we're not doing it yet, because I'm trying to fix these issues first, guys. Try to get the stability under control. And part of this is devastation. So devastation does cause issues with amenities. And I was just talking about this. And they regress to the Stone Age. So they'll have like 2 pops. We can read this, but I was just talking about how likely this was. It's like as soon as they hit the atomic age. When I did my test playthrough, I was trying to, make use of the new pre-FTL features and events and stuff, situations that they have. And I only was able to find one. And then that one I found, not long after finding them, they nuked themselves. So it just seems, I don't know, it just seems like it's so likely to happen once they hit the atomic age. A massive war was recently triggered between several of the largest nation states on, we're going to call it Saura. While our researchers were observing safely from orbit, The conflict rapidly escalated into a global nuclear exchange. The planet has suffered extensive damage with the destruction of every major city and more than 90% of the population. Scattered survivors have emerged from the rubble, but our researchers predict that the planet's civilization will be regressing to a far less developed state. A tragic lesson. So the awareness was decreased. So this is actually... this could be a good thing for us, because now we're able to do the aggressive observation. We couldn't do this before because they were fully aware of us. Now there are other options, passive observation, but that's not how we're going to do this. We're going to be abducting them and stuff. It's not saying that we're getting anything, but maybe we just need to let it update since it like literally just happened. But yeah, that's unfortunate. Now, again, at least they're still there. So they now have just the 2 pops. They're on that tomb world, and they have been changed here because they'll have the survivor trait just like we do. Okay. So maybe we'll still colonize them. And the tomb world, we'll live just fine there. Well, much better than we would have lived on whatever planet they had before. It was not one where we had high habitability. So yeah, our orcs will be able to live there just fine. So yeah, we'll attack them there eventually. Again, let's get our other planets dealt with first. Because yeah, they have some issues. All right, so we finished up the mining district here on the Stormy Mines. Probably want to get another job assigned there. Let's see how many orcs we have assigned here. So we currently just have the 2 orcs. I could have swore we assigned more, but maybe they left. Yeah, perhaps they left. I could have swore we had assigned more than that. But yeah, let's go and get something else constructing here. We're going to send them some more orcs. So make sure that they're doing all these jobs while the worker jobs are being done by the Brene. So we're going to do, I feel like a generated district would be useful. And we do need to deal with the consumer good issue up there, so we'll take care of that in a minute. We have plenty of energy for purchasing stuff. All right, so we're going to do that, and then we need to resettle pops over here. Let's do it from Black Mountain. We'll just send a couple pops over here, a couple orc pops. And I don't know if that was enough. I forgot how many they had, jobs they needed. So it's 2, okay, that's the colonist one. So you need basically 4, and then there'll be some new ones that will open up here. So that's fine for right now. But eventually we're going to need to get some more over here. We can also upgrade the building now because we have the 10 pops here. So go ahead and do that. All right, so they're getting the city district built. But yeah, the problem here, of course, is those amenities. So we need to get that solved. So let's go ahead and get the Hollow Theaters here next. See if there's any issues here. Shiny's Cave. Looks like we should get something building here. Let's get another city district building here for the building slots. Did upgrade our fleets. And we finished up technology. We got our basic strike craft. Okay. So we want to get that changed up on that one defense platform. Is the only thing that's currently using that. For our next research, we should probably get the star holes. That's the upgrades to the star bases. So let's go and get that. Our construction ship currently isn't doing anything. I don't think there's anything for them to do either. So we're just going to have them go on back to Orc Prime for now. We'll keep them around so we'll always have one construction ship, even though they're not going to have any job here. We did want to change up the design for these since I don't have them on the auto upgrade to get the basic strike craft. And now that will require me to change up the reactor, unfortunately. Just barely. We just barely didn't have enough here. All right, excellent. So I don't actually have any of those just yet. Here would probably be the station where I'd want to add those. Because these guys here, we are definitely going to have issues with. They are fanatical purifiers. That's why they hate us so much. So these guys just attack everybody and try and purify them. And so we're definitely going to have issues with them. There's no doubt about that. But since I want to go this way first, which we're trying to get intel on them, we've got our envoy there doing some spy operations now. I want to see how strong they are before we attack them. But we're going to wait to attack them, so we need a good defensive base here. So we'll want to get that set up right there. And we did not finish reinforcing these guys yet. We didn't have enough alloys. Oh yes, in the stockpile situation, we need to buy some of those consumer goods. And we've met somebody else. Some machines. Where are these at? Looks like they're also down here somewhere, right there. Alright, so again, we're going to do the more friendly options for these further away ones. They could potentially be allies against some of these species here. Because orcs might need some friends. Or at least temporary friends. So we just unlocked our relic activation, which remember will spawn new pops. So yeah, I think we're going to make use of that. I know we do want to get new traditions, of course. But how can we not push this button? So we're going to go ahead and make use of it. This is the Omni Codex. So let's go ahead and fire it off. So the Omni Codex contains detailed genetic data on thousands of sapient species that once inhabited the galaxy. Our geneticists could use that data to revive an extinct species on one of our planets. Once we have selected a planet, the geneticist will go through the Omni Codex and pick a species suitable to its climate. Well, bringing more unhappy slaves to Brialora or Story Mines is not going to help the situation there. So let's actually bring them to Shiny's Cave so that these pops would be good on the arid worlds. And so that we'll have slaves that have the same planet type as us. I think that makes sense. So we'll do Shiny Caves. And we'll take a look at what this new pop is. So this is them right here. And we just need to find them in here. I wish when you clicked on that it would bring you to them. Instead they require you to find them. I guess what we want to do is only show our Empire species. And that would make it a lot easier. Okay, so this is what they look like. Let's take a look at their traits. Of course, they have the arid preference. They're very strong, so like our orcs. So they're going to make great workers. They're natural engineers. Okay, well that's interesting. They're resilient. Okay, so really they're going to be really good soldiers. They're solitary, so pop housing usage will go up. And their habitability is lower. Okay, but that's not a problem as long as we keep them in the arid locations. So we start out with 3 of those. And they are on the indentured servitude. We'll keep them on that for now, but I think we might end up changing that eventually. Now, one thing I thought was interesting, somebody noted, is that the Brane, the first pops that we enslaved here, they look a little bit like goblins, which, you know, we're orcs. Which is kind of funny that our first slave species looks a little bit like goblins. Somebody else said that they look like Baby Yoda with big old ears. I could see that as well. But yeah, I think we could always change their name whenever we redesign them and call them goblins. I think that could be fun. So maybe we'll do that eventually. We need to get the gene editing tech, man, so we can really start messing with them. And we are now getting insights from that observation. And so that's over here. And so we are getting that. Do you no longer gain the society research though? Yeah, I used to gain society research from doing the observation. But yeah, maybe it's just this here. Okay, well, we'll see what happens when we get through that 76 months there. So we got this other colony being set up. Actually got 2 colonies being set up. The one on Rimok and the Badlands one. We're actually going to rename this one. I got a new name for that I want to use. I would get the hyperdrives. All right, excellent. So we're going to want to add those to our ship designs. And for the new tech, let's go ahead and get the energy grids, the global energy management. Though we're actually doing pretty good on energy right now, which is great because we're short on consumer goods at the moment. So let's see how things are going here. So we still have, too many available jobs at the moment. And we still have the amenity issues. Well, we're going to get rid of a lot of these pops, guys. Yeah, we'll get rid of a lot of the pops once we have this colony done, which it's damn near done. Before I forget, let me change up these ships as well, because we want to add in those new hyperdrives. So get these placed. Again, could do the auto upgrade. I don't really like the auto upgrade though. Sometimes I don't want to upgrade. And also I've had some issues a few times where the auto upgrade didn't do it the way it was supposed to. And then we'll go to get these upgraded. So we'll get those upgraded, and then we still need to add those destroyers to the fleet. Alright, so we have finished up this colony here. And this is in the Orc core space as well. So they'll have this governor. We need to establish another governor here. I was waiting until we got the Badlands set up, and then we'll do that. So let's go and get a building constructed. Do as we always do, and add in those hollow theaters. Now, with the monuments, I'd be fine putting these monuments. I'm not sure if cultural workers, what job that is, but I would be fine adding these to some of our slave planets. But yeah, I don't know if a cultural worker is a worker or a specialist. That'd cause issues. Anyways, we're going to get the hollow theaters first, because they gotta have their duelists on every new planet. Though we'll be actually adding in, and we need a bunch of stuff constructed here actually. I believe, yeah, because this is the relic building, or relic planets. They have a ton of really good stuff here that is unlocked if you spend this huge amount of money to clear up these different blockers. So it's a good amount of energy. But if you look at this one here, this will increase research significantly. So this should probably be like a research planet. I think that's what we'll do. Again, I've had a relic world in the past, and yeah, I think you could turn them into another type of planet. Yeah, let's go ahead and clear that one, because that would be really useful to have. Yeah, these are going to give us, yeah, you get crystal mines, gas extraction wells, the mole harvesting traps. I mean, yeah, you get all the, or not all the research, but you get a lot of the unique resources here. Once we're able to actually capitalize on those, there are technologies required. And then these would just open up some of these locations here, like the generator districts. Okay. So yeah, this is going to be a very useful planet, guys. So we're going to get that cleared up. We'll get the hollow theaters. But we're going to add more pops here once we get the jobs available. We're going to be bringing in the slaves. Because they'll be much happier on this planet. I did forget that I wanted to change the name here. See, I don't really like that name. We want something a little bit more unique. Now you notice when we randomize the name based on the name list that we selected, they're all named like somebody's, frontier, somebody's, station, or somebody's citadel, so on, so on. And so that's the naming system we're going to use for this one here. I think every one of our leaders, if we can, within reason, of course, because we might end up having a lot of leaders, but every one of our leaders should try at least to have a planet named after him. So like this is going to be Grok's Citadel, because of course he would take our best planet, because this relic world will likely be the best planet that we have. So of course he would take this one to make it into a citadel. And so yeah, this one's going to be named after our Chief Grok. And so since the planet is named Grok Citadel, the system will be named the Citadel. Don't get it confused with Mass Effect. Alright, excellent. So we got that renamed. And we're meeting more species here. Oh, those are weird looking ones. I think those are lithoids. Yeah, those are lithoids. So rock peoples. Should have looked at where they were located.
Our ships have been made superior.
Maybe up here somewhere. And of course those borders have been closed, and that's because we have closed our borders against them. And we are full on influence. Okay, so what we need to do is make use of that Am I getting some claims? Now, we can't do claims over here. We have no need to claim the systems of major threats. They're considered major threats, so you can just take their stuff. So we'll do the claims here, though it looks like we don't really have any options. Okay. I don't want to claim anything from there, so I'm trying to be friends with them. I suppose we can claim their stuff. Just in case we ever find ourselves in conflict with them again. That'll get rid of some of that.
Planet in revolt.
And here's the revolt. So it has been 3 or 4 years. And so because we have that low stability, I think we're just short as well. I think it's like 25%. It might be lower, or excuse me, a higher stability requirement. So if it's 40% or something like that, I think it's 40% for slaves. But yeah, I don't think we would have had this if this would have just been slightly higher. So that's a shame. All right, so this is a situation up here, a revolt brewing on Brialora. So this should be exciting. So clandestine slave meetings at night raise levels of defiance towards superiors, and missing goods can mean only one thing. The slaves on Brialora are radicalizing, spreading dissent and discord among their peers, and fear to the rest of the population. There are even whisperings of freedom, of independence from the United Orc Tribes. A show of authority may be necessary if we are to keep control of the colony. So that'll have to be dealt with, of course. So we just need to get them out of there, basically. Move them off of that planet. So just gotta get these jobs available here. And then we'll fix the problem. So these guys here are unemployed currently. There's no available jobs. So let's get some jobs that they can do. With the assumption that eventually they're gonna be workers, of course. Let's just do another, we'll do another city district for right now. And then we'll also get something constructed here. I think we're going to do a monument because I want to see if those cultural workers, if that's something that they can do. If this is like a worker level or a specialist, I would assume it's a specialist. We'll get one of them just to see, because I won't know until we do it. So we'll get those constructing. Yeah, once we get the hollow theaters done, that'll open up some jobs here. And we found something else over here that I guess we could claim if the influence gets too high again. So we have established the Badlands, right? Yeah, we have. Okay, so we need to build here as well, and then we're also going to get a governor set up now. So we're going to start out, as we always do, hollow theaters, man. You gotta have your duelists. So we'll get the hollow theaters there, and I suppose we'll also set up a district to construct. Well, we'll need a city district eventually, so we'll get the city district. And we're doing pretty good on mines currently. It's really just the consumer goods that we're short on. So let's do an industrial district. So get that constructing as well. And then we'll just buy some of these since we do have the energy to do that. All right, so let's go and get another sector set up so it'll no longer be just the frontier sector. Create a new sector. That'll be called Badlands since we had the planet selected when we did that. Need to give it a day so they'll add all those planets to it. And then we want to assign a governor. So we'll have to recruit one. So we can get an architectural interest governor, which will reduce the building costs, the district costs, and the planetary build speed. What we really need is somebody who would, could do food. I guess we'll just could switch these two. But we really want him over the Grok Citadel, since that's where we're going to get all our research. And really, it would really hit us pretty hard since we're getting the majority of our research right now from Orcland. So, I probably don't want to switch him out right now. All right, we'll just do this guy for now. It'll help having him. So yeah, having a governor gives you a variety of bonuses. Helps reduce the crime as well. You can see that our stability is pretty low at the moment. It's now sitting at 12%. Stormy Mines was good. It's now just declined. And that's largely because we don't have the amenities here. Basically, we need hollow theaters, guys. So let's get those constructed to produce some amenities over here. Did we get one here? We did get one here. It's just a problem with too many pops currently. We do have some jobs opened up here. Okay, so let's go ahead and move. Oh, we got an event here with this situation with the slave revolt. Sabotage on Brea Laura. So in a vicious act of defiance, the slaves on Brea Laura have destroyed work facilities with the help of homemade explosives. Though the detonations took place at night, they lured their unsuspecting work leaders to the location by triggering the alarm system. The attack was well coordinated and flawlessly executed. Whoever the guilty are, they must have planned it for months. So same option no matter what we say here, but these acts will not go unpunished. So that'll produce devastation there, so that's not good. Alright, so basically we need to move pops here from Brea Laura. So let's go and do that now. So move a few of these over to Grok Citadel. Do we have enough orcs on our 2 planets to go ahead and move their, change their type of slavery up? This is not one of them. So just make sure we have enough orcs here to fulfill the jobs that we currently have for them. So this is, yeah, we now need more. Again, I think we're going to get rid of the research labs here. It's just not what our slave planets are going to be doing, guys. There's also the bureaucrats as well. We could get rid of that. Yeah, I think we're going to want to get rid of all these guys. So get rid of that job, and then get rid of the research labs. So that we'll need less orcs on this planet. Currently we have 6, and this would be 7 that are required. I think they're leaving. Yeah, they must be leaving due to the habitability issues. That's what I'm assuming here. Alright, so let's go ahead and settle some orcs from Black Mountain. And we'll just switch over 2 of these. And we'll bring another one of these guys over there as well. Alright, so that's good. Now Stormy Mines, let's make sure that they're good over here as well, because we're going to be switching this up now. So basically, if you want all those enforcers there, which we do, then that is a total of 7 orcs needed, and we only have the 4 here. Okay, so let's go ahead and resettle from Shiny's Cave and just bring a few orcs over. We'll bring them over. So we'll bring like 3 orcs. Actually, let's do 4. And then we'll want to bring a couple of these guys over. There we go. Again, orcs aren't going to be happy about it. It's causing us further issues with the consumer goods. But we're going to be switching up their slavery level. So moving them from indentured servitude, which you'll see they have pop political power plus 50%, which slaves automatically have a negative 75%, I believe. Doesn't show that here. But yeah, I think it's a negative 75%. And so essentially it gives them a lot more political power. And so that's the reason why their happiness is so important and causing so many issues. If we move them to chattel slavery, they do not get the pop political power increase. It does make them more unhappy, but it'll actually have less of an effect on happiness. And we'll get more resources from the jobs they work. So let's change them over to chattel slavery. This could cause some disruptive issues here as everybody switches around in their jobs. But I'm hoping this will solve the issue eventually. And yeah, they're claiming more of our systems. Not surprising there. Because again, we're likely going to have to fight them. Let me see if we can see their fleet power. We can. They're inferior. Alright, so we'll want to attack them. Obviously, we need to get this problem handled up first. Because yeah, we don't want to have a slave revolt behind us. Let's go ahead and move this fleet as well. I think they're way over here. So let's get them moving over here to Shiny's Cave. And it looks like they're fully reinforced as well. So they do have their 10 destroyers. All right, excellent. So we want to add destroyers to these guys next then. We did get some technology finished. Starbase capacity. Alright, excellent. So we now have more starbases because we were sitting at the cap already. So this is nice. So that you don't gain as much war exhaustion, you stay in the war longer, and then the claim influence cost is reduced. This is good too, the edicts fund is increased, base intel level increased, and you get the administrative parks, which is a upgrade. But I kind of feel like we should increase the Tomb World habitability, because that would allow our other pops to live on the Tomb Worlds. So I think we're gonna go ahead and do that. Because that's, you know, obviously causing problems. Any slave pops we move to like Orcland or the Badlands, they're gonna have a lot of issues. So we move to the next stage here of our slave revolt. They're moving very rapidly at the moment, and this is a hunger strike. It would seem that the slaves on Brea Laura have had enough to eat. Spokespersons have informed us that a large number of slaves will be refusing all intake of food until we abolish slavery planet-wide. So far, all of our attempts to force feed them have failed. Sadly, nutritional deficiencies will be expected to lower their work performance significantly. So we say let them starve, or we need to resolve our issues. Again, I don't think it matters which one we save here, but yeah, we'll go with this one. The slave upkeep is lower, so there's that, because you know they're not eating, though we're actually using more food now. That's strange. I guess because the output is less, and so we're getting a lot of food from those planets. All right, so let's take a look at our planets here. All right, so we have a ton of available jobs opened up. So what we need to do is get more pops moving here to fulfill the worker roles that we're about to open up here in a minute. So we got the hollow theaters already. I thought I set them to build a city district. Apparently not. So we'll go ahead and do that now. Get the city district. You know, we're probably going to build 2 of these. So build 2 of those, open up some building slots here because we want to get the research bonuses. And I could see us having some generator problems, some energy problems. So having the ability to get the generator districts here would be nice as well. So it would make sense to probably get this one here because that opens up 6 of them. So yeah, we'll clear that up. All right, excellent. So we'll get that taken care of. And we need to resettle pops here to do these jobs for us. And so a lot of these, you know, we have some of those pops in Orcland and they hate it there. So let's actually move them over here. So that'll fulfill some of that role. And then we also want to move them off of Brea Laura. So let's go to move. I want the farmers, we'll do the miners here. I wonder why me moving these seems to increase the resistance. I've seen this once before. I mean, it's actually reducing the resistance here, but yeah, you get an event when you move them. Okay, so you can see that's helping. So I don't know how many jobs we had open up. I think it was 10. And yeah, now it's increased again. That's strange. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what's going on there. But yeah, we have brought more pops over here. So now we have the worker unemployment. Oh, okay. All these jobs are specialist jobs. Okay. We can also upgrade this. But yeah, we got some issues here, guys. But we got the city districts building up. We needed to get them off that planet. And it looks like they're back. Okay. So yeah, we'll see what they have to offer us. The orbital trash dispenser. Or disperser, excuse me. So they want 300 minerals. So that's pretty cheap. So we'll go ahead and give it to them. It's a new technology that we'll gain. And I think that's something for your ships. Increases damage you do to planets or something like that. Yeah, orbital bombardment damage is plus 25%, and that fits in one of those slots. Okay. We got that free tech. I mean, it was 300 minerals, but basically free. Not too expensive. All right, so we should probably wait to do that because we need to get worker jobs here. So we're getting the city districts. So we need to get... Yeah, we can't do farming there on the relic world. And these are... Yeah, none of these are worker jobs either. Let me see. On the Shiny's Cave, we're still building the monument. I was going to see if that is a worker job or not. Well, we almost have that constructed.
Scientific breakthrough achieved.
Let me see if we have any other planets that need attention. I mean, it's at 23%. Could be worse. Story Mines is having issues now as well. They need amenities. So we got the Hollow Theaters. So we just need people to work the duelist job. Could prioritize that. So make them work that to fix the amenity issue. And so that'll hopefully solve some of the problems that we're dealing with there. Let's see if we can do anything here. Yeah, that'll fill out some of it. Okay. Just making sure that they're doing those jobs. So we've got that tech finished up. So could get this one so we could exploit the moats. That would be helpful. But I really feel like we should get the research station output because it's cheap and quick to get. We can get it in 28 months. So we're going to get that one first. Yeah, but poor Grok Citadel. All kinds of problems here now until we get these jobs dealt with. But we're spreading the problems right now. Getting them off of Bria Laura. But yeah, not really able to expand just yet, guys, until we deal with these issues. Now, we did get our next tradition, which, remember, we finished up the Supremacy branch. And so now we can open up a new one. And I feel like there's a very clear choice for the next one. Adaptability, guys. This will allow us to increase the habitability of all our pops. One of the issues we're kind of dealing with here. That's why we're having such shortages here with the consumer goods. So yeah, let's get this one first, guys. The first thing you get is the pop housing usage is reduced. So I don't know if any of our pops are actually, or any of our planets are overpopulated. It doesn't look like it. Just Grok Citadel, of course, which that'll be solved once we get the city districts. And let's just go ahead and fix that. You're not seeing any issues there. So this is an event for that caravan. So old with defects. Our starbase in the Unith system reports that the Racket Industrial Fleet has evacuated and abandoned a decrepit ship, now in unstable orbit around the system's central star. So one man's trash is another man's treasure. Gives us a special project, or just let the sun swallow it up. We'll do the special project. I want to say these ones require a construction ship. Yeah. Okay, so we'll get that finished up. Oh, and we have reached the limits for our influence again. Okay, so there's nothing we can do with the edicts, right? Yeah, none of them that actually require... Okay, so yeah, none of them that require the influence. I think there are some that require influence, but yeah, none of them currently available here. Is there anything here that would help us getting control of our pops? I mean, that would be helpful since we do have the consumer good issues, but I don't want to spend the energy. That'd put us in the negative there. And the reason why these crystal ones are available is because we do have some crystals stockpiled. But we're not actually producing any, so I think we'd wait to make use of those until we're actually producing some. So yeah, we'll have to use our influence on claims. So we'll make that claim there. We can claim their stuff over here. I don't actually want that stuff though. Yeah, we probably shouldn't do that. The problem is we can't see their systems. Might just have to sit at the stockpile, because yeah, I don't know what else we would do with the influence. Now, one thing we do need to do is declare them a rival. Again, this is going to give us influence that we don't need. However, it would help with happiness, because I think it would improve. I think there was a demand for local rivalry that we weren't succeeding in. So that should help out a little bit. Let's go and check our planets, see if there's anything we need to be aware of. Of course, they are trying to get this city district constructed. There we go. So that'll help, as you can see. But yeah, we do have all these pops that don't have jobs here. Really need them to build quicker. Yeah, we'll get that city district done.
Scientific breakthrough.
And let's prioritize the duelist again. Oh, looks like you're going to have to leave it on it to keep him on that. Okay, so yeah, we'll keep that prioritized to try and solve the amenity issues here. An odd factor. A group of investigators have found a hidden factory on Badlands. The building and its state of decay tells of an old civilization, one that excelled at constructing things that stood the test of time. Our population would easily be able to use the facility to add to the colony's production output. Okay, so it's intriguing. I believe those pops are going to disappear, if I recall that event chain. So we got our starholds. So that means we can upgrade our space stations, our star bases. So we'll probably want to do this one first. So let's go ahead and get... So that'll increase housing. We've already seen that housing isn't really an issue. This one would be cheap. Yeah, I think we're going to grab this one real quick. Get the worker pot resource output increased. That'd help us out. So let's go ahead and upgrade this starbase. We'll upgrade that. And we can add those defense platforms as well. We'll eventually want to do that. However, we still haven't added the destroyers yet for this ship. So we need to do that. I'm just waiting until we improve our energy situation. Because those ships do have an energy cost. So that's why we're not doing that yet. We do need to rename this location here. We'll probably just rename that one Badlands, but do we want the sector to be named Badlands? I don't think that makes sense. We need a sector name, guys, for over here, for these 3 planets. I don't know, Goblin Lands or something, because this has there too, if we're going to rename them Goblins. So yeah, we're going to rename this here to Badlands, since that's our main planet here, which we've probably been neglecting. Yeah, we got the industrial sector going. Yeah, we've got stuff here. Okay, just want to make sure that we're looking good. Outbreak. A novel zoonotic disease has appeared on Saora. Without the medical technology required to combat the infection, the population is quickly succumbing to misery and death. So remember, this is this planet here where they just continue to have issues. There's only 2 pops living there right now. So these are the pre-FTL situations that were added in the patch. So we actually get to see some of these. So it's a bummer that it's on this planet where there's nobody here and nothing really happening there. Yeah, you can say watch and learn. Provide aid or promote the disease. And whenever you do these ones, they have an upkeep cost. And while watching and learning gives you research. Well, we probably don't want to promote the disease, because it'll just kill them all, obviously. So we don't want to do that. We want to enslave them eventually. We can provide aid, though I'm not sure what effect that will have. I guess we can try and keep them alive. Because yeah, there's just not very many pops here. Now you can always change this, what we want to do here. But yeah, I don't want them all to die off. So I guess we're going to have to provide aid, even if that doesn't make a whole lot of sense for our orcs. And it's expensive as well. It's probably not the best option. Alright, so we got the next event here. Likely due to the vessel being a civilian transport, the shipboard databases were not fully scrubbed as part of the decommissioning process. So while nothing else of value was found aboard the ship, our data scientists have managed to recover partial references to unknown alien technologies. Well, that's interesting. Plasteel materials. We'll take a look at that tech, and then unfortunately is going to have to be the last thing we do in today's episode. So that'll get us that level 3 armor. We did finish that up, so let's go and put the construction ship back home. And unfortunately, that will have to be the end of today's episode. You know, when we get to attack anybody, we've got to recover from our previous conquest. But it looks like it's getting better. Yeah, Ria Laura is now in the positive. And so this should be, yeah, this situation is now over. The slave revolt has been dealt with. Of course, we kind of just passed it off to Grok's Citadel. But yeah, that's been dealt with. Same thing here on the Stormy Mines. And there was other ways to deal with this. For instance, there's other buildings we could have constructed. So we could have put strongholds on there. So you got more armies, and then declared martial law, which makes it so that the soldiers will increase stability. That would have been an option. Could have built more of the precinct houses to get more enforcers. There's different ways of dealing with it. I just decided to move the population off of those planets. And we didn't even move them all. There's still a lot of them on there. There's still 23 Riene Pops remaining here. But yeah, the problem's kind of been passed off to Grok's Citadel. Where you see that the stability's going up here, but yeah, we've got some issues. The workers aren't employed. So we need to get that city district completed, and then we need to get something else for them to do here. Remember with that Shiny's Cave, we were taking a look at the culture workers. They are specialists. That's what I was expecting. Okay, so you can't have slaves do that job, unfortunately. Okay, so we need worker jobs here on Grok's Citadel, which basically these jobs here, the generator and mining districts, would be worker jobs. There might be something here as well. Yeah, the technician jobs, just doing that period. It's going to help you out. Artisans are specialists though. So basically we need to get more of those constructed. So we need to clear some of those out. Now I do want to get the research lab. But of course our issue here is we need worker jobs, so we should solve that first. So let's go ahead and start clearing out the flooded reactor pits after we get that city district constructed, and then we'll be able to get the generator districts, which is what I really want here, is generator districts. We can do some mining districts, I suppose, but yeah, I would like to get the generator districts. Yeah, we don't really need minerals as much as we need energy, although energy is much better as well. Okay, so we will have to end today's episode here. Hope you guys did enjoy it. If you did, make sure you leave a like on the video, subscribe to our channel, hit that notification bell, and leave a comment. Do hope to see you on the next one, and thanks for watching.